Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the daily live extra. We're a little bit late because Frank was doing his press conference, which is a surprise, him doing it on a Thursday, but he's done it. It's out the way. We didn't learn anything about any potential signings, even though the last 12 hours have just been nuts in terms of Everton. Well, in terms of media reports, they have been very, very nuts. And, in the last, we've had Onana, we've had Jamie Carragher-Light, in Connor Coady, we've there's just obviously there's just been lots to talk about, but things he did confirm: Dominic Calvert-Lewin 6 weeks, which if you look at the fixtures takes it up to the West Ham game, but there's an international break the week after, and I could imagine them leaving him out, and then him coming back the week after, unless he gets ahead of schedule and maybe wants to play because he might be desperate to figure for England.
Because try and give himself the best.
That's what I'm saying. If you like to think, well, you'd probably think that if he misses out on that international break, then he probably would miss out on the World Cup. But
I apologise, amateur hour from me as well.
Yeah, absolute amateur hour. I mean, doubly amateur hour because you made yourself coffee and
because when I come in, that cup was there, and I thought soft.
No one made me a coffee. I mean, there's two of them sitting there, literally plaiting each other's hair.
Yeah,
and I never got a coffee. Other news: Seamus Coleman's going to be playing for the under-21s tomorrow. He's nearly back fit, so obviously it'd be too early for the Chelsea game, but he'll be back fit probably the week after. Begovic probably be on the bench, which is a bit of a surprise because Everton didn't quite know how long that one was going to be.
Sent home, wasn't he, from America?
Yeah, so that's a bit of a relief. But in terms of those transfers, no news other than Frank Lampard, obviously confirming they are in the market for certainly a striker, but the Onana stuff he never, wouldn't be drawn on, and the Ghana Gay stuff he wouldn't be drawn on. So, and obviously the Connor Coady stuff he wouldn't be drawn on, which has come out this morning. So, all very interesting. Lots to talk about.
I did say, I've said that Everton have been very interested in Onana, so it's not come from anywhere. It's like nowhere. Just the fact that whether Lille have changed their demands. Because Everton were told how much it was, and you still keep your hand in, but at first it seemed prohibitive, the 30 odd million. But apparently, I'm just seeing a report now that he's rejected West Ham.
Well, the journalist who's been reporting it, basically said the conditions proposed by West Ham are not conducive to play. I know, conducive. Sorry, to play for player development. Whereas he wants to join Everton because basically he'll play for Everton, and he's 20.
Yeah, great age.
He could play 2-3 years and still be at a very good age to move on. Yeah. In terms for Everton, they would look at this deal and think, well, in 3 years we could double our money,
easily,
no problem, and therefore it's hugely beneficial.
Well, the challenge for Everton is to, in 2 or 3 years, to make sure he doesn't want to leave. New stadium and in a better position, but he's absolutely the right player. Been singing the song for a couple of weeks, haven't we? In the hope that it would. Oh, nah. That it would.
The universe would listen.
The universe would listen, and it has. No, obviously, listen. Everton have obviously hung in there, and sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes you don't. It isn't done. He's not signed for Everton, so things like West Ham basically thought he had him. So therefore, until he's at Finch Farm and he's signed off on it, but he's the right profile for what Everton need. If Everton were to get him and Garner, which my understanding is that's what the plan is, then that's a big upgrade on Everton's midfield. It's a huge upgrade, and then you throw Decore and Iwobi into that mix of four.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, it puts huge question marks over obviously Tom Davies and obviously Andre Gomez. We're trying to get rid of Gomez anyway. And then you start to understand why Tyler Onyango was let out on loan to try and keep his development going, because he's someone you've got high hopes for moving forward. And again, this kid's 6'4", 6'5", Onyango 6'5". This is what midfield players are like now, aren't they? Yeah. But I still think that's great, and I'm tempering my excitement.
Oh yeah.
Because until it's done, it's done. Coady stuff is strange. I spoke to someone before, and it was like one of them. You know, it's not. He might like him, but it's nothing's gone anywhere.
Do you think that might be one of those where it's the player's name's been circulated because apparently he's available because Wolves, he's not Wolves' first choice centre back anymore, but he wants to go to the World Cup, and they might have that kind of relationship because he's been there for so long. Where it's like obviously
Kevin Thelwell.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying Wolves might have that kind of relationship with the player. It's like, you've been here for so long, we're not letting you miss out on this. So if you need to go on loan somewhere, then fair play.
Loan is what I've been told is the only way Everton can bring him in, because they'd want 15, 18 million, I think, for him. He's got 3 years left. He's 29. He's got 3 years left on his current deal.
I think that would be. I think if that was
just want him to come because you said we should get him 3 years ago.
I want him to. Well, yeah, I've always thought he was a good player. I mean, that would leave us with like 3 very similar players. But what I was going to say till you rudely interrupted me was was that would give us a year and we could sell Michael Keane and we could sell Mason Holgate, and we would give us that year then. Whereas people might go, well, they're too old. And it's like, yeah, but if you bring him on loan,
I think Holgate's got Wolves written all over him.
Maybe, but
or West Ham. I mean, they knocked on the door and walked away.
But I do think though that would allow us to sell one of those players, and with Branthwaite, you know,
hopefully developing.
Developing and ready to come back. I do think
I
would. It sounds a mad one, but if we could sell Keane, get money in for him, or sell Holgate, that does give us that little bit of breathing space. We get cash in, and then we have a centre-back coming in next summer. You will have had a year experience of European football. So you can't really. I don't think you can grumble at that.
No, listen, if it is what.
And he's played in a 3 quite regularly.
He's a really good organiser. He's a good defender. As Frank Lampard looked at Mason Holgate, Michael Keane, and gone, and Yerry Mina, and gone, well, 2 of you, I don't know what I'm getting out of you. Whether it's an 8 or a 1, or even a 6 would be good. He doesn't know what he can get out of them. And the other fella, are you going to be fit? You're a 9 this week, you're not even available for 3 after it. And he might look at them and go, well, that's like 60% of the centre-backs I've got available right now. I can't rely on. Leaves him with Tarkowski and Ben Godfrey. Can we rely on Ben Godfrey? Right now at centre-back, we can rely on him for being fit and battling, but positionally, he's not great at the minute, is he? So he's still developing in that role. So he might have looked at that and gone, if we can get Conor Coady in on loan, and obviously Kevin Thelwell will have a close relationship or a relationship with him, and he'll have a relationship with people at Wolves. And if people at Wolves have gone, Kev, this fella might be available on loan, you know, to get him off our way. You pay his wages, it saves us for a year. He's not going to play because the manager's going a different way, whatever it is. Then maybe that opportunity arises. I know some Evertonians won't be happy, but he's a good defender, and as long as he comes in and does the biz. Again, the only thing, and it's like a woodpecker knocking on the side of my head, is we need forwards.
No, we do need forwards, but what I would take from
what I did last night, quite sadly,
go on.
I watched, and it was brilliant actually. Have you watched Roger's interview with Frank and Dominic and Thingy? It's on YouTube now.
No, I haven't watched it yet. I did.
Really good.
I put it on our premiere.
Yeah, it's really good. At the Men in Blazers event. So what I had that on, and I had Watford and Sheffield United on from Monday, just to have a look at Dennis on at the full game on the zone. So I had that on in the background watching it. Dennis is live. I don't think he can play through the middle, but he is lively. He's all over the pitch. I know it was Sheffield United, and it's a different level, the Premier League, but he did do well in the Premier League. But I just wondered, as we move forward, if his price does drop a little bit. You know, Ned said he'd seen a couple of reports where the price had dropped from 20 to 15 because they needed him off the thing. I just wondered if Everton would look at that, or will Everton stay on course and say it's brochure or nothing? I don't know.
I suppose it'll come down to what they get off Chelsea. Chelsea are bringing in a £50 million left back today. Do you know what I mean?
The 2 left backs they've got have cost £103 million.
They like left backs,
obviously.
Obviously. They've just brought in a kid from Aston Villa for $20 million.
They paid that Chuka, he's good though.
And they're still, they're trying to get Fofana. And that's going to be 90 million. Let's be honest. It's going to be 90 million. I don't know what's going on with Leicester.
I don't think it's Leicester. Mate.
But no,
the money's been pulled.
FFP.
Well, they've been pulled as well. The money. So.
Well, it's been pulled because of COVID, because of Thailand.
And they obviously gambled on Europe, didn't they?
No, but that's 90 million.
Yeah.
And
Schmeichel's gone, hasn't he?
Schmeichel's gone to Nice, yeah.
Man there. Aaron Ramsey.
Ramsey's gone, yeah. Well, they've got Nice are one of the richest clubs in Europe.
I know.
The fella who owns them is
English fella.
It's just made all the money in the world because of COVID.
I wonder if he's interested in Everton.
Well, he's bought Team Sky, didn't he? And he's bought, yeah.
He is interested.
Oh, he's got money to burn, that fella. So if they do, I think they'll go back for Fofana for big money. He's a top player. He could be a top.
This Wesley Fofana, who the Piv told Everton he should be getting 2 years ago.
Listen,
they had William Saliba and Fofana on the run consecutively, and
they know how to,
now saying Saliba's going to be him and Gabriel.
They know how to do it, but if they're bringing in players like that, they're going to need to offset it, just slightly.
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah,
and that might mean
it's like our Leipzig. How are they going to afford his wages? He's on 270 grand a week. Mad, isn't it? I think Chelsea will pay like 2/3.
Loads of cans of Red Bull.
Must be.
Loads of cans.
I think Chelsea will play like 2/3.
Would
you have Werner? Said this to Ned.
I'd have Werner. He's
I think he'd get 50.
Lethal over the top. Lethal over the top.
Misses chances, but he's quick, isn't he? I think he'd do all right.
But so I think he'll become available. It just depends when he's available and if there's any other targets. I just wonder whether anything has changed at Everton in the last 48 hours, whether this was always the strategy.
Are you manufacturing of a kit by any chance? What? You kit manufacturer?
Well, there is talk of a
new
kit manufactured for next season, a local brand, and there's apparently a new sleeve sponsor because they've been gazumped. These are all just rumours, of course. I wouldn't like to say any more on that. But there is talk that next season we're going to have a new kit sponsor.
Manufacturer.
Yeah.
I imagine there'll be a kit. I think they might have a new kit sponsor as well, but you never know.
You get a new kit sponsor, you.
I just think money.
It almost feels like in the last. It'd just be interesting to know whether this was always the policy to go late.
Let me ask you this then. Well, no, he's been on Everton's radar since day one. Right, so obviously some of the work, and at 20 years of age, he's likely to be pros. He's been on Everton's radar since February, I think. When Lampard come in, he was like, he's one we want. So they're the great age. Obviously, we've got Vinagre's coming on loan, 23. Great age. Dwight McNeil, 22. Good age, works hard. The right kind of messaging by Everton. The thing is, and I said this to you off air, so I might as well say to you on air as well. Do you think, is there not a danger, but is there a possibility Everton have done the old Richarlison thing and gone, we'll have a go with it, and we give ourselves till June the 30th to make this money back?
Surely if the money's on the pitch, though, that's the best place for it to be. You know what I mean? In terms of, like, if you've got a young player coming in, like Onana, you know, the money's there. If you bring them in for whatever they're asking for or whatever they're asking up front, there is you can, even in 12 months' time, you could turn around and go, well, we could move that player on and make money on him. You know, the same with any young player, I imagine. Everton have got to be careful, but this is something we did speak about early on. It's like, yes, you could look at someone like Dominic Calvert-Lewin and go, 100%, 12 months' time or 11 months' time now, you can shift him and that money's covered. And if the more of them you've got on the pitch where you can point to you can go to the Premier League or whoever and go, see that player there, he's worth X amount no matter what in this market, and we can get rid of him if we need to. So we're not going to fall short. You know what I mean? It's your money on the pitch.
Do you think they will sell them? Because I look now and think he's 20. He'll be 26 next summer, so he's still a relatively young man. But he's coming into.
He's on his last contract though.
He's in peak, so he's in peak.
But he's in his last contract
now. I just look and think maybe Newcastle, maybe I don't know, but I don't know whether he'd be looking and thinking, well, you know what? I'm playing for England and I'm playing for Everton. I'm Everton's number 9. I might want to stay.
I suppose it depends where Everton are, but also...
It depends what he does.
This is his next contract.
Is
the big one, isn't it? This is his big contract.
Yeah.
And he's going to, if he signs it for Everton and he's on really good money, it could be the old Zaha route of like, you've just priced yourself out of a move anyway. And he's got. That's where you've got to be very, very careful. But it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter because as long as Everton can say,
well, it's an asset, isn't it?
There's money on the pitch. There's an asset that covers us if we need to. Yeah. Then whether we want to or not, there's your money. There's your guarantor of our money. So, and that's this is what I was talking about last week when Andy was in the studio. The more of them you've got on the pitch, the more you can point to someone and go, we could sell him for X amount. Now, I'm not saying you have to sell him, but you can turn around and go, we could sell him for money there. You don't want to get into a situation. I think this is what Andy said to us loads of times. It's like certainly like 2 years ago when Carlo brought in Coady, Allen and Hammers. It was like, but where are those players going to go after Everton?
Yeah.
Do you know, and you've just brought 3 in. Where are they going to go after Everton? Where's the value? You need to have players on the pitch that have some kind of sellable value. So
absolutely,
it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one whether this was the strategy, like obviously all along.
Well, yeah, maybe he's the big Onana is obviously the big one that they wanted. I think it's quite clear that Brozier is the forward he wants, but that's a loan. I think Chelsea have made it quite clear that they're only interested in loaning him for this year to see what happens with him. So if Everton are going, we're going, we've got our striker lined up, and he's only a loan, so it gives us 12 months to either do the old Romelu Lukaku on him and seduce him into staying, and Chelsea persuade them to sell. Gives us a year to do that, doesn't it? Integrate him. Does he develop? Do we want to pay 35 million for him next summer if he does well? Gives us a year to look around. So therefore, that pot of money then, and let's remember that the pot of money is only an instalment. It's only a payment. We've had money for the Richarlison. We've spent the biggest outlay we've had so far to Dwight McNeil for just under £5 million, I think it is, the first payment. So we've still got a big pot of money. If Onana, Lille are quite happy to take instalments. Nicolas Pepe, Arsenal, paid like £3 every week. From the time man, I think, for Pepe. So that's the same kind of thing.
Deal.
Exactly. So for it, that could be 8 million up front and then the rest in instalments. And Everton, that might be within Everton's budget. And they go, yeah, we can do that. With the, we're hoping to get him out the door and him out the door as well. So if that is the strategy, and it seems like it is, it's fantastic. I mean, I've seen people saying it's just his agent trying to get more money out of West Ham. Everton have been there all along. It's just the reason why I'm slightly surprised is I feel like Lille have changed the terms. I really do. Yeah. And I think that's enabled Everton to do it. Or Everton have literally just gone, right, we're ready. He's ready to go now. We can match that or whatever. Because don't forget, Lille, we had this with Gabriel. They were arsing about with Gabriel, weren't they? And in the end, Arsenal paid what they wanted up front. And it's got a little feel of Gabriel about it, that he was nailed on. He had medical with Everton and everything. It was all done. Next minute, COVID, it's Arsenal coming, he goes to Arsenal. And because Lille are difficult to deal with. They can be difficult to deal with. So if Everton have done an agreement with them and they're happy with it, and there's a lot of stuff flying around today that he's agreed terms with Everton. He wants to come here. Listen, he might want to come here, A, because he's going to play, B, because Everton have probably offered him more money. West Ham have got a wage structure that, that Zuma broke, I believe, last year, or did whenever he signed, caused a bit of unrest. If Everton have got the money, and let's be honest, if you're going to pay someone money, pay these kids money who you've got a chance of making your money back on. He'll need time. Excuse me. He'll need time because he's 20 and coming into the league, but he's a physical presence in that midfield. And if he's got legs around him, which he will have because he's quick as well. But I mean, if you've got other people doing the work, him and Garner would be almost like it. That's why I'm not letting myself get excited, but it'd be like a dream kind of combination. It's what we said. We're getting Garner and there's another young one to track. It's like a twin track. If Dominic Calvert-Lewin was fit and we'd sign those two, I'd be like,
the spine
would
be a decent spine. Like,
there we go. So it is the forward one is the issue. It is the worry, because instead the manager talk about once Rondon's, we've got an option. I mean, it's fucking terrifying. So I just hope Delhi is brilliant on Saturday. But the manager did say in his press conference, Delhi was a second striker. He said he was a striker, so he knows the role. So that to me kind of, while they're trying to stay in the fight for Brozier, that would suggest Delhi's going to play through the middle. Rondon's going to be maybe the 20 minutes in the end, batter and ram, come on, knock people about. And he done that near the end of the season to decent effect, actually. Come on, apart from when he's diving in at people and getting sent off. But he had a couple of games where he come on and knocked people about a little bit and looked a little bit like, well, he was doing what he was brought to do, which was the last 15 minutes of games. And that might tide us over until we can get Brozier through the door and we can get Dominic Calvert-Lewin back fit. Yeah. And if that's the case, but I still think we need to move 3 on. Yeah. Alan, if we got Onana,
we get both
and Garner in, then what is the Alan and Gomez we should be trying to move on. I mean, I really like Alan, by the way, but I just look at a midfield and think, if and it's a big if at the moment, let me just stress that, but if Everton had a midfield to choose from of Onana, Garner, Coady, Iwobi, and let's just say Tom Davies for argument's sake, because until someone comes in and buys him, he's going to be there, isn't he? Then where does Gomez and where does Allen get involved in that? And then there's other players like Delhi who can play in there, and Dwight McNeil can play central. So where are they? And you can talk about strength on the bench, and which is what we want. Of course we do. You know, but where is that? Lewis Warrington, what do we do with him? Yeah. If we get these two, there's no way we're going to be playing Lewis.
But then we can stick him on loan,
but he can go on loan, keep his development. So it's, dare I say it, it almost sounds like a plan, but I don't want to get ahead of it, because I mean, it's Everton, isn't it? What was quite interesting on that, and I'm not going to give too much away, but on that Men in Blazers thing, Frank Lampard says, like, I'm a pessimist. He said, I think that's why I get on so well with Evertonians, because I always think the worst can go wrong. So until he's given it all that, with the shirt and all that, then obviously it is what it is. But it'd be a lovely kind of boost, I think. Bless you. Be a lovely boost if Everton could get him through.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Then the lady says £100,000 a week, Gomez is going nowhere. The thing about Gomez, though, if someone agreed to pay 50% of his wages, then Everton would be, saving £2.5 million a year by letting him go on loan. I can see that happening. The kid's never going to play. And I don't think, even though people have a go at him and stuff, I don't think he's quite Cenk Tosun level, where he would literally just not play football.
No,
I think
like
he'd
that.
Go and have a game of footy somewhere else.
He's not like that.
The whole thing about Alan, he's another one. I think later on in the window, I think a couple of Italian clubs would go, we might have a little nibble at him. And again, that might be, he's in 11 months left, Everton might just go, we'll pay his wages. And then he'll just Gareth Barry off into the sunset. So we'll see. Alex, no, Juventus are paying Moise Keane's wages. Race through these Premier very quickly. Gary Walters Hardy, Everton Vikings said, and this is what Cam said as well, but instead of Onana, what's my name? Onana, Ghana gay. There you go. Liam says, please tell me it's true, lads. Just itself. What we need. Well, Everton are very interested in him, and obviously a lot of noise around it suggests it's positive, but until he's here, we'll see, won't we? Stuart says, I'm not sure how we have the finances, but I pray him wrong. Grey Lead says, all about instalments, baby. That's buying them on tick from cash converters.
That's what it is.
Most clubs pay cash converters now, though. Tom says, for those moaning why we signed a midfielder and not a striker, can't we just be happy that we're signing one of the best midfield prospects in Europe. He fits the exact profile of what we've been crying out for. Tall, powerful, mobile, gets around the pitch. We can still sign a striker. In fact, we would have signed one even if Dom didn't get injured. Frank and Kevin Thelwell know what they're doing. Can't wait for the season now. Dave says update on Ghana. Well, there isn't really one at the moment, Dave. It's in the final throes, I believe. But until he's another one, until he's here having a medical, you just go see what happens. He's got till noon tomorrow to sign. I don't know to be able to play Saturday. I think we can safely say, or it seems like anyway, right this moment, that it's unlikely Ghana will play for Everton on Saturday. But we'll see. We'll see. Derek says if we can pull this off, it'd be an outstanding signing. Would we still be able to get Ghana and a striker though? Well, apparently, yeah. The striker will be a loan, won't he? Cameron says, all right, lads, quick one regarding deals paid in instalments. How does it affect the club receiving the fee? Does it make a difference if they receive 1 million up front or 10 million up front? If the fee is sat 30 million in total, then that's what goes down on their finances. No, that's right. You can buy a player over 5 years. If you sell a player, that money goes into your thing. You can put that in your bank and go, we've got 50 million here. That's the way it is. Up front just means you're cash ready, doesn't it? I suppose. So if you've got that money up front, that instalment of 8 million, and you're trying to buy another player for and that team wants 5 million up front, then if you've got, I imagine it works like that. If you're cash rich, you can do it. I
believe, like I've heard in the past, people say that it for some clubs it's more preferable to be to be paid in instalments due to financial stuff that I don't understand. But I have heard that before. Like,
well, that'll be a reason why everyone does it and people are happy to do it, because obviously it works better that way. I don't know exactly. I'm not a finance guy, but. Grant says if we sign Onana, will he be the first player we've actually signed that Baz has mentioned over and over again? Possibly, yeah. And then comes the pressure, doesn't it? He comes and he's like Nyako, and then everyone goes, yeah, he's crap.
And it's all Baz's fault.
It is my fault then. Luke says, can we get Dom some inhalers and clop juice? Be interesting if we could. Bobby says if we sign Ghana and Onana, we could play a two-man midfield with a 3-4-3 formation. And have the Coady cover on the bench. We could. Or we could actually play 4-3-3. Jake says was not expecting the Onana news. Are we expecting some sales? Mina, Holgate, Gomez, Allen. Also pinging on Coady. We've talked about Coady. I don't know. Maybe they've had a little bite on a couple of those players. We know Holgate. A couple of inquiries, I said last week or the week before. West Ham had inquired about him. It hadn't gone any further at that moment.
We are getting to the business end now, aren't we? We're getting to the mad part of the transfer window.
Yeah, Grey Lead says sleeve sponsor being announced later. Apparently, it isn't Kayak. Wonder if someone come in late on and we did. So we don't know. We'll see. Anyway, do you have a Toffee TV Premier Fantasy League code, lads?
It's on Premier. It's on Premier. You've got to be in Premier.
Grey leaders in Premier.
No, and I'm just saying, get on Premier. That's where it is.
Okay, it's there somewhere, mate. Alexander says, "Hi boys."
Discord as well, I imagine.
Yeah. One thing that concerns me about the guy move this January before he left, he was heavily linked with PSG, and we may even gotten rejected an offer for him. After the window closed and his move didn't happen, that's when he really kicked on and showed how good he was, but only to get that move to PSG in the summer. I just worry if he comes in, would he still have the motivation to try hard? I think Ghana always gave everything, to be honest, mate. He did. He was good after the move, but he was good before the move, which is why he come in. So I think the whole team played better after that move, though, as well. I don't think it was just him. Silva kind of found his rhythm, and the team found the rhythm.
He was brilliant. He was brilliant the last 5 months.
Oh, he was, yeah. We'll see. Bill says excited by the idea of Onana. Let's see if it happens. West Ham are in Europe, our name might be thrown around. We must be looking for a forward on loan with our 2 domestic spots. Feels a bit more hopeful today, even with Dom out. Paul says, hello lads, hope you're all well. Is this Onana a genuine link? Yes. What's your thoughts on Coady? We spoke about that before. Curly says Baz is back. You can tell because the stream starts late because he's making a brew, chatting up Redmen. No, it started late because Frank was on.
Frank was on.
Not me. What about Garner? I'm lost now. What about him? He said he wanted 2, didn't he? He said he wanted 2. Everton Viking said he was still our best player before PSG were even in for him. First 6 months and his last 4 months were the best time for us. But even in between those periods, he was still our most important player.
And he is better than any midfield that is at the football club right now.
And we haven't got other ones, have we? You can do what he does. We've got players who can do certain things. Nobody does what he does. Alex says not sure about Coady in a 2. Yeah, he'd probably be in a 3, wouldn't he? I imagine.
Right, we're done.
So,
sorry to cut it short, but we've got stuff to do. And blame Frank.
I blame Frank. I feel like it is Frank's fault.
We'll be back at 5 o'clock over on Toffee TV Premier. Also, our brand new website has just launched. It is literally launched in the last 10 minutes. Go and check it out. You can watch all the videos on there. You can get to the shop on there, to Premier Access on there as well. It's just launched. Toffee TV, ESC.com, your one-stop shop for everything you need. There you go. See you later.